Hello, my name is Nina. Welcome to another video on my channel. Last week, I turned 24, and for my 24th birthday, one of my best friends gave me a book shopping spree. In this video, I wanted to take you along while we book shop and obviously show you all the books that I got from her. Now, before we go any further, I wanted to say that this is a crazy gift to receive. I told the friend that gave this to me, like, are you sure that you want to give this to me? Because this is much more than I could ever ask for a birthday. And she was sure. So I wanted to just put this out there that I am very grateful for this. I have told her like 15 times how grateful I am for this gift. I am not the type of person who keeps a big TBR usually. I buy only the books that I'm interested in reading right now, and I try to read as many of the books in my bookcase as I can. I don't think I've ever bought this many books in one go in my life. So the fact that someone gifted this to me is crazy. So again, Alex, I am so thankful for this gift. I know you're watching this, so thank you again. So we decided to go to the bookstore after work, and that was so fun. And we just browsed around, and I got to choose a few books, quite a few books that I wanted to take home. So first, let's watch the footage that I got from the book shopping spree itself. You should get this and tell me if it's good. Now this does sound very interesting. So this was so fun to do. I chose some books from categories or genres that I don't really read that often. And I also asked Alex to help me find some books and to recommend me some books. So it was just a really fun afternoon with the two of us, and we just had so much fun at the bookstore. So these are all the books that I got. Like I said, it's quite a lot, and I really wanted to show you which ones I got. So the first one is this one called The Kite Runner. Now, this is a book that I would not usually pick for myself, but I asked Alex to give me some recommendations, and she told me that this is one of her favorite books she has ever read. So obviously I had to get it. I actually didn't really look into what this book is about at all. I just know that she loves this book, and she said that I would probably love this book. So I'm going into this completely blind, but I have high expectations because Alex has very good taste. So if she loves this book, then I will probably also love this book. The next book I chose is The Great Undoing. If you don't know this series, it is both the Magnolia Parks and the Daisy Hayes series, and you have three books from each point of view. So this is the second Daisy Hayes book, but the fourth book overall. Anyway, I got the second Magnolia Parks book, so the book that comes before this in the series, a few weeks ago, and I haven't read it yet, but I know that I will read it soon, and I will probably really like it because I really enjoyed the first two books of this series, and I know that I want to continue the series after that. So I decided to pick up the next book already, so if I finish Magnolia Parks, I can read this one right away. The only way to describe this series is that it's very Gossip Girl. It's very rich people doing crazy things, being in just like drama that makes no sense and that no normal human ever goes through. It's so enjoyable to read. A big part of this series is the love stories, and also the love stories are very toxic. Like, you root for the couples a bit because the characters are so invested in this love story, but if you take just like a second to think about it, you're like, these people are not supposed to be together and everything they're doing is wrong. So that's just very enjoyable to read, but definitely don't read this to like think that this is what love is supposed to be, because it's not. But it's just, if you like just like overly dramatic, weird, rich people stories, then this series is great. The third book I got is Someone Who Will Love You in All Your Damaged Glory. And there is not really a description on the back of what this book is about. I think it is 5 short stories, or maybe it's a longer story split up between like 5 parts. But this was written by the creator of BoJack Horseman. And also, I am a big sucker for like stories that will make you just like not necessarily sad, I mean sometimes sad, but just rethink your life and to just like get really introspective and to like really think about all the things that you usually ignore. And I just feel like these are the vibes that this book gives me. I don't know if that's true, but if what is on the back is any representation of what is in the book, this book is filled with like dark humor and also just like emotional things written in a funny way, and that just sounds like something that I would really enjoy. Plus this cover, gorgeous. If I am sitting on the tube reading this book, I look so cool. So yeah, no, very excited to read this. Speaking of pretty covers, this book is gorgeous. This is also a book that Alex found and she was like, I think you would like this. And I do think I would like this because this is a book about someone, I think, who is like thinks she has her whole life together and then some things start falling apart and she starts an affair with someone. And I love morally gray characters. I love stories where you just don't necessarily love the main character and they do things that you don't agree with, but you also just like understand why they're doing them and you understand what is going on. I feel like those stories just always grip me in the best way because it's so human, and I feel like that is really interesting to read about. So this is called How to Be Somebody Else. I just read the back and was really intrigued. I've never heard of this book before, which feels weird because this sounds like the kind of book that TikTok and BookTube would be all over, but I don't know, maybe it's new? Okay, so apparently this is a new release, so that would make sense of why I've never heard of it before, but I am just very excited to see what this story is about. On the flip side of that is this book that I've only picked up because I've heard so much about it. This is The 7-Year Slip, and this is one of those romance books that is just all around you. I've seen this on my TikTok, on my Instagram, on my YouTube, like millions of times, and I am not a big romance girly, but sometimes I just get in a romance mood and I really want to read some romance, and I feel like these types of books are perfect for those moods because you can kind of assume that it might not be the best book, but it's at least going to be enjoyable and the romance is going to be so good that people just can't stop talking about it, so apparently it's good, you know? So this actually includes time travel, which I think is very interesting thing to add to a romance story, and I'm interested to see how like sci-fi-esque this reads, or if it really just reads as a romance book that accidentally has some time traveling in it. The next book I picked up is Sex and Rage, and this is, according to the back, a rediscovered classic, and I just got very intrigued when I read this back because it says that it's a semi-autobiographical novel, which I love. First of all, I love autobiographies in general, but when it's like written in a novel-esque way, and when it feels and reads like a novel, but you know that it's based on like their own life, I just love those kind of stories. This sounds incredible. I think this is one of the first books that I'm going to read from this pile because it's short, it sounds super interesting. This sounds like the kind of book that I will just read in one weekend and I would be obsessed with. So I hope that this lives up to my expectations, but I think so. I mean, it must. It sounds so cool. So this is the last book I got and it's called Come and Get It. And this is by the same writer of Such a Fun Age, which I read a couple of years ago and I really enjoyed. So when I saw this, I was like, yes, I definitely need to also read her next book. I didn't really realize that this also is like a rich kid story, but here it says, Kylie Reed takes a lens to our money-obsessive society to ask just how much of ourselves we are willing to trade to get what we want. I think this is about two people, one of which is in like the rich kid society and the other one is like doing journalism about this rich kid society. I just know that I love Kylie Reed's work and that I was very interested to read this story when I read the back. So I was like, yes, this is a definite must. So these are all the books. Like I said, it is crazy to me that someone would give this to me for my birthday, and I'm so thankful. These are definitely all books that I really want to read and I am really excited to start. And I think that is one of the most important things for me when buying books, is that I never want to buy books that I think I will like, but not necessarily right now. I am definitely trying to keep my TBR as small as possible. That's very important to me personally because I don't want to own all these books that I've not read. I want to have a library of all the books that I've read and enjoyed. So whenever I buy books, it is always with the intention to read them at least in the next couple of months. You know, I don't ever want to have books that are on my TBR for years, because I have books on my shelves right now that I bought when I was 16 or 17, and at the time I was like, not right now, but I'm sure I will enjoy it someday. And then when I read them now, I'm like, I would have loved this when I was 16, but right now it's not my cup of tea anymore. And I feel like that is very important for me when buying books. Now that I have all these books, this will definitely mean that I'm not going to be book shopping for a while. And I just am first going to go through all of these books before I buy more. These are definitely all books that I am going to enjoy in the near future. So that is the end of today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to, you can subscribe or leave a comment. Please tell me if you have read any of these books and what you thought of them. I will maybe do some reading vlogs where I will be reading these books if you guys are interested. And for now, I really want to thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!